The Elves and the Shoemaker by Mike Brownlow, published by Oxford University Press. Once upon a time there was a shoemaker and his wife. The shoemaker worked very hard, but still he and his wife were very poor. At last the day came when all the shoemaker had left was enough leather to make one pair of shoes. That evening he cut out the last pair of shoes and then he went to bed. "Well, my dear, I have cut out the last pair of shoes. Let's hope we get a good price for them." The next day, the shoemaker got up and went into his workshop. When he got there, he couldn't believe his eyes. "Oh, my goodness! What beautiful shoes! I wonder how this happened. I'll put them on the shop window." The same morning, a lady came into the shop to have a look at the shoes. "Those shoes are beautiful. Please, can I try them on?" "Of course," said the shoemaker, and placed the shoes on the lady's feet. The lady was delighted with them and gave the shoemaker so much money that he had enough leather to buy 2 pairs of shoes. That evening, he cut out 2 pairs of shoes and then went to bed. The next morning, the same thing happened. "Look, more shoes! They are wonderful. Let's put them in the window," suggested the shoemaker's wife. That morning, a man came into the shop to have a look at the shoes. He bought both pairs and paid the shoemaker lots of money. And he was able to buy lots more leather. And so it went on. Every night the shoemaker cut out the shoes, and every morning he found the shoes made up. Before long, the shoemaker and his wife were rich. "I wonder who is making all these shoes," said the shoemaker. "I don't know. Shall we stay up tonight and see who's been helping us?" said the shoemaker's wife. And that night, the shoemaker and his wife hid behind the counter and waited. Just as the clock struck 12, the door opened, and in ran 2 little elves. They saw the leather and got to work. They worked hard all night, and when they finished, they ran back out of the shop. The shoemaker and his wife were amazed. They couldn't believe it. "How can we thank these elves for helping us to become rich and happy?" asked the shoemaker. "I know what we can do. We can make some new shoes and clothes for the elves," suggested the shoemaker's wife. They immediately got to work, and the next evening, instead of leather, they left the clothes and the shoes for the elves. The shoemaker and his wife hid behind the counter and waited. The clock struck 12 and the elves came running in. "Look, no leather, but look at these new clothes and shoes. How wonderful," said the elves. The elves put on their new clothes and shoes and they ran out of the shop. And the shoemaker and his wife never saw the elves again. They all lived happily ever after. The end.